99% of men are not ready for money. That's why Allah doesn't give it. For a long time, I believed money was delayed because of circumstances, bad economy, lack of opportunities, unlucky timing. But then I came across a statement that shook me deeply. Allah does not withhold money out of punishment, but out of mercy. It sounded strange at first, almost unfair. But the more I reflected, the more I understood its truth. Most men are not poor because they lack effort. They are poor because they are not ready. Money is not just currency. It is amanah, a trust. And Allah never places a trust in hands that would be destroyed by it. I began observing men around me, and then myself. I noticed how quickly ego rises with small success, how impatience grows with delay, how fear controls decisions. Ibn Arabi once said that provision follows capacity, not desire. A man may want wealth, but if his heart is ruled by greed, comparison, or insecurity, money would only amplify his collapse. That's why Allah delays. Money reveals what is already inside you. If the inside is chaotic, wealth becomes punishment, not blessing. I realized that before Allah gives money, He reshapes the man. He teaches him restraint through lack, humility through delay, discipline through waiting. Every unpaid bill, every missed opportunity, every slow season is training. The man who fails this training will fail abundance. But the man who grows calm, grateful, and grounded in scarcity becomes dangerous in the best way, ready. That's when money stops being chased and starts being sent. Allah does not give wealth to impress a man, He gives it to use him. And until a man is strong enough to carry wealth without losing himself, Allah protects him from it. That is the secret no one tells you. Poverty is often not rejection, it is preparation. And once I understood this, I stopped asking when the money would come and started asking who I was becoming without it. I noticed how Allah was training my reactions before He ever planned to increase my resources. When something went wrong, did I complain or adapt? When I earned a little extra, did I waste it to feel important, or did I manage it with discipline? Most men fail here. They beg Allah for abundance while still being reckless with the little they have. Ibn Arabi taught that expansion comes only after containment. If a vessel leaks, it is never filled. That truth hit me hard. I realized that readiness for money has nothing to do with hustle and everything to do with inner order. Allah watches how a man treats time, how he treats people who cannot benefit him, how he handles silence and delay. Wealth is not given to speed up a man's ego, but to support his responsibility. When a man is still ruled by comparison, anger, or impatience, money would only enslave him further. So Allah waits. He waits until the man can lose without breaking, gain without inflating, and give without fear. Only then does money arrive quietly, without chaos. That's why 99% of men stay stuck. They want money to save them, but Allah wants to trust them, and trust is earned long before abundance appears. And the hardest part to accept was this: Allah is not impressed by ambition. He is impressed by stability. Most men dream loudly, but live chaotically. They want wealth, yet their sleep is disordered, their words uncontrolled, their intentions mixed. Money would only accelerate their destruction. I began to see that every delay was exposing something unfinished in me: a lack of patience, a need for validation, a fear of being ordinary. Allah was not denying me money. He was removing the parts of me that would misuse it. Ibn Arabi wrote that what descends from the unseen always matches the shape of the heart. If the heart is restless, wealth arrives restless. If the heart is disciplined, wealth arrives obedient. That changed everything. I stopped fantasizing about amounts and started mastering habits. I learned to keep promises when no one was watching, to manage small sums as if they were large, to give even when it felt uncomfortable. Slowly, something shifted. I no longer felt desperate. I felt prepared. And that is when opportunities began appearing. Not explosive, not dramatic, but stable, sustainable, aligned. I understood then why Allah withholds money from most men, not because they are unworthy, but because He refuses to let wealth become the reason they lose themselves. When a man can stand firm without money, Allah knows he can stand firm with it. Until then, delay is mercy, and preparation is love. And then I noticed something even deeper. The moment I stopped needing money to feel whole, my relationship with it changed completely. Ibn Arabi hinted at this when he said that dependence on means is a subtle form of disbelief. Most men think money will give them security, respect, or freedom. In reality, money only exposes whether those qualities already exist inside them. A man who lacks self-control becomes enslaved by wealth. A man who lacks purpose becomes lost in luxury. A man who lacks gratitude becomes permanently anxious, no matter how much he earns. Allah knows this. That is why He delays. He waits until money will serve the man, not rule him. I began to see that readiness for wealth is quiet. It shows up in consistency, not intensity, in restraint, not excitement, in the ability to walk away, not the hunger to chase. When a man reaches that state, money stops being emotional. It becomes neutral, useful, clean, and that neutrality is rare. That is why only a few are trusted with abundance, not because Allah favors them more, but because they can carry it without corruption. I finally understood the harsh truth hidden in mercy. Allah does not give money to fix a man's life. He gives it to use a man whose life is already ordered. Until then, delay is not punishment. It is protection, and once that protection is understood, bitterness disappears. I stopped resenting people who had more than me because I saw the weight they were carrying. Wealth is heavy. It demands decisions, discipline, responsibility, restraint. Many men break under it quietly. Allah sees this long before the money ever appears. That is why He tests men with absence first. Absence reveals character faster than abundance ever could. In lack, your true priorities surface. In waiting, your patience is measured. In delay, your sincerity is exposed. Most men fail here and call it injustice. But Ibn Arabi taught that what you call injustice is often precise wisdom operating beyond your sight. I began to welcome the training. Every slow month refined me. Every closed door taught me endurance. I learned to work without applause, to stay ethical when cutting corners would have been easy, to remain calm when outcomes were uncertain. And without realizing it, I became someone money would not destabilize. That is the moment Allah waits for. Not the moment you are desperate, but the moment you are steady. Because when wealth enters an unsteady heart, it multiplies fear. When it enters a steady heart, it multiplies benefit. That is why 99% of men are not ready for money, and why Allah, in His mercy, does not give it yet. He is not delaying success. He is building the man who will not be destroyed by it. And that is the truth most men never accept. Money is not a reward, it is a responsibility. Allah does not give wealth to prove His favor. He gives it when a man is strong enough to carry it without losing his soul. Until then, delay is mercy, scarcity is training, and waiting is love disguised as hardship. The moment a man becomes calm without money, disciplined without reward, grateful without excess, and ethical without supervision, he crosses the threshold of readiness. At that point, money no longer threatens him, it obeys him. And when it finally arrives, it comes quietly, without chaos, without pride, without fear. This is why 99% of men remain waiting, not because Allah is cruel, but because He refuses to let wealth be the reason a man collapses. When the man is ready, provision never asks for permission. It arrives